Good day, brothers and sisters of the gutter. My name's Ragtag, as you well know. In fact, I'm now going to refer to you all as brusters. Brothers and sisters, get it? Anyway, what you're looking at right now is me at my, I suppose what I would have thought back then was my prime, and the tracking's nice and smooth. This was taken 10 or 11 months ago, I think, on the channel, and what I want to show you is essentially the difference in my gameplay from then to now. And you're probably, maybe some of you thinking I've gotten worse, and you'd be right, but in other ways I've gotten a lot better. Now, the one thing that should be a prevailing factor while you're viewing this is it should look pretty slow. It should look, you know, maybe a bit smooth, but look there, no strafing at all, me just aiming down the sights confidently, and I could have easily gotten lasered by someone with a better aim, but obviously, when you're bad, the matchmaker gives you more bad, so I had donkeys for teammates, donkeys for enemies, and look at me right here. What am I doing? There's a fight over there, and I'm healing up in the corner in full view of everyone else. Not quite sure if I did that to try and get a view on the enemy. In fact, I'm not even going to try and second guess what I was doing. What I'm going to do today, though, is explain to you how it feels after playing with a pro player. This is part of my, my ethos on getting better at anything. If you want to get better at tennis, do not play against the school PE teacher. You should be playing against an absolute beast who is willing to crush you. And it's the same thing I've done. I've said this before with my son and how he learned video games. I took him on Super Smash Bros. And I completely destroyed him every single time. No mercy. I didn't let him win a single game. Now, I can't even take a round off him. It's impossible. And I want to show you what happened when I stepped into a lobby with Shiv. It kind of looked a little bit like, well, this. Now, obviously, my FOV and my sensitivity have changed a little bit since that other footage that you're looking at here, but what you should be noticing right now is sheer panic. I have no idea what to do. I have no idea what the lobbies are going to be like, but in my head, I already knew they were going to be a lot tougher than what I was used to, mainly because there is an absolute monster of a Bangalore on my team. Therefore, at this exact moment, I look like I just have been thrown into a lion's den and I hear lions everywhere. And that was true. There were footsteps all around us, squads everywhere. But most of all, I was starting to gain this kind of equilibrium for how it works, when everything's a lot faster. And Shiv's positioning is something I was very acutely aware of because I honestly didn't know how to proceed with looting and to actually fight the enemies at the same time. It was almost like I'd looked at Apex Legends in a kind of a casual, fun way before, but now it felt like everything had been heightened. That's actually a very good word for what I was feeling at this exact moment. I had no idea where my teammates were going, what they were planning on doing next, but as soon as I spot an enemy right here, I start doing what I used to do, which is, sit around on the top of that building and look at this guy actually doing a double jump and hitting his shots, and I was terrified at this point, thinking, uh-oh, okay, I don't belong here. I don't think I can even mix it up with these guys. As you can see, I'm still tracking a little bit of this going well. I'm trying to keep up with the pace. Look how fast Shiv is moving. He is absolutely beasting everyone. And they're right there, standing in the middle of nowhere on top of a fence. I could have got my head taken off. And then we tried to push in on this squad near the res beacon there. And I want to get some shields. I don't have any. I want to get to that death box. And I think I just stubbornly, I can't remember. Do I just walk up to it and actually try to take it? That would be pretty dumb if I did. Oh dear. Yeah, well, look, I've got nothing to say about that. Just you shut your mouths. Unfortunately, there was no body shield in there. And I got completely lasered. Now, something I've not actually said yet is this was, I think, the first game I ever played with Shiv, so that's probably why I'm even twitchier than normal. I knew kind of what to expect with playing with high-level players, the speed of it all. I was just trying to keep up with that, so there's a fight going on and there's people in this building. I just went nuts and tried to get involved. I could see Shiv coming in behind me, so I thought, yeah, I'll just get this guy here. Turned out, yeah, there was two of them, and I went down. The party was over for me, but not for Shiv, who just, went on and lasered them. Look at that professional door blocking. I've got very good at that. That's probably one of the best skills I've acquired across my prestigious career in Apex. But yeah, basically when I played with him on this first session, I left him by himself to 1v3, which is probably why he is able to solo queue himself to Masters every single season. Now, after the res, things didn't get better. In fact, it was a total disaster, if I'm honest with you. And the reason I'm showing you this game is I wanted you to see the evolution of my thought process, and some of that will reflect on my gameplay as well. But right now, it's just like a headless chicken. I'm trying to follow Shiv. Look how quick he is. He's just literally following everyone all over the map. He knows exactly where they are and exactly what they're going to do next. And me, well, I didn't even see this jump pad that's right there. I went right up in the air, and when I got to the apex of that jump, I just assumed someone was going to pop my head off right there and then. It had been very difficult for me up to this point. I did catch the Wraith right there, but obviously I couldn't see through that bush. And when I tried to track, I didn't get the job done. I remember now, it was awful. So there, once again, Shiv was left by himself to 1v3. And this must be a common occurrence for him in ranked and in quick play, but I was his new teammate. So he must have felt the urge to help me out, because he kept trying to make the area safe and then res me, and then there was other people around. And I think he actually does try to res me again, but look, what I discovered at this point was, for us to be a duo in this tournament, I would only be able to improve so much. And Shiv was so kind of chill about it. He was like, oh, don't worry about it, man. Just frag out, do your thing. Did he get this res off? I don't think he actually did. Oh, so close. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, he was telling me just to chill and frag out wherever. I was like, frag out? Your expectations are a little bit high, my friend. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the result after playing with Shiv, and then I'll talk you through the actual process I went through. By the way, I know you want to see his damage. Here it is. Nearly 2k and me with 338. RIP. Anyway, check this out. This was taken yesterday, which I think is a week or so after our first set of games.
Oh, he's got a massive up job. This is all you, brother. Kill them all. Please.
Let's get it.
I don't know how you're alive, but you are the best. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how you survived that long against like that Wraith. He had a mastiff and it cost a kind of flatline. You're insane.
Alright, well, if Shiv says I'm insane, I'm just going to have to accept it. However, I would like to add insanely lucky. That's more like it. I think he had a P2020 for the most of that game, so yeah, I don't even know how he got that damage. Anyway, so the one thing that I found out across the week or so that I played with him was, first of all, just to become self-sufficient again and stop following him around like a lost puppy. I think that really does help. But the other thing is realizing what it is that makes up this skill set that he's got here. You see, in my head, I'd always had it that he's just faster and aims better, and obviously you'd say, oh yeah, he's got insane movement as well, but there is one aspect of his gameplay that you really don't appreciate until you're actually playing with him. You can look at it, it's almost like, you know, if you're trying to learn MMA or something like that and you read a book, that's not going to help you when you get in the ring with someone who's actually done it. They're going to basically tie you up in knots, and that's going to be the end of it. Doesn't matter how much you read. And it's the same with this as well. You have to actually experience it and fail at it a lot of times to realize what's going on. So the main thing that Shiv does that I think really is underestimated by other players is his awareness and the information that he clocks. The two are kind of inexorably linked, but I do believe there is a separation to make. So there's in-game awareness of where people are, you know, where they're going to be moving to next, and that sort of prediction on player behavior. And then there is information clocking. What weapons they've got, how much ammo they're using, where someone was knocked, what armor they were wearing when they were knocked, where your teammates are, who's left on the map, and who used what cooldown, who's got their ultimate. All that sort of stuff is like combined into one set of awareness, if you like. But that information clocking was absolutely huge, and I noticed that while I was playing with him. He kept calling these things out, armor swap here, put that there, you know, and it was just like he wasn't telling me how to play, he was just giving me all the information I maybe hadn't gotten myself. So how is it that we take the essence of the Shiv gameplay and put it into our own sort of skill set? And by the way, looking at these two games that I've just shown you, you might be thinking, oh, he's doing that just to show us that he's got more damage than Shiv. Well, yes. However, that's not actually the reason. The reason is there's a couple of things that happened in those 2 games that I hadn't actually done before or hadn't thought about before. So in the first one, for example, I used an arc star to cover me while I was looting in case anyone came up that rope. And that is something that just would not have occurred to me before. And it wasn't anything I'd seen Shiv do. It was more kind of like the rhythm of my game had somehow changed. And when I say rhythm, it's kind of like when you drop into a game again and again and again, day after day, maybe with your friends, maybe solo queue, you end up doing the same things, you get the loadout you like, and you play the same sort of way. Either you stand back and snipe, or you wait in third party, or whatever it is, no problem. But when someone comes along and gives it a shake, and I mean a good, vicious vibration of a whisk, I think you really do feel that something about your game is just not working anymore, and you gotta look at it again. That's what I believe playing with someone who is just so far above your level does. But I don't think it just happens to anyone. I think you really have to want to try and get this up a notch. And by doing that, I think the first step is just to observe where you're at and observe what the other person is doing. Don't try and become them, because it will just become a hot, sticky mess. What you've really got to try and do is realize the little things that you've been doing incorrectly. It might just be looting speed. It might more be what you do whilst you're in combat. It's not dynamic enough, perhaps. You've got to move around a bit more. The enemies are getting time to move in on you, and they know exactly what you're going to do next, as opposed to the other way around. I think starting to clock more information is a big one for me. I didn't do that at all. Hadn't really thought about who was where when I downed them, and what abilities they'd been using and where their teammates might be. It is quite difficult to get all of these bits of information at once. So I think baby steps is definitely the way forward, and I haven't come a great distance, but I have come a long way in terms of a short space of time. Now guys, I came from Overwatch, as many of you know, and it will surprise some of you who don't know about it that I was actually very close to the Grandmaster rank at one point. I was 3800 SR as Orisa, which was the higher end of the Master's rank, and that is because I was very good with my awareness. It wasn't so much my mechanical skills, which is probably why in Apex I have been stuck in this, well, there's 2 reasons why I've been stuck. One is I just don't care, and 2 is because I had forgotten about the skills that I really, utilized and made the most of. It wasn't that I was the best at aiming. I was a tank, so I needed to stay at the front line, but I had to know what everyone was and what everyone was doing. I have, perpetually blamed Apex's sounds for this, because I think that the audio positioning is not that great compared to Overwatch. Overwatch's is spot on. No, for me, I think I'd been getting too bogged down with my own mechanical ability, which is why I'd not been dynamic enough in combat and started filtering out other information I really needed. So playing with Shiv has been just an amazing experience. I've really enjoyed it, and I think if you guys get the chance and you see someone in your lobby with like 50,000 or 100,000 kills, and you play a quick game with them, ask them if you can just group up with them. Just say, hey man, can I squad up with you? I'd love to learn a bit, or just follow you around a bit, and just I need to get better at this game. Doesn't matter if they say no. I think it's just worth asking, because the experience that you can get from it is absolutely awesome. Fully recommend it, especially if you're stuck in the game and you feel like you're just not going anywhere. A top player on your side, if you just watch and have a little look to the rhythm and ask them to do call-outs and whatnot for you, you will be amazed at how far you can come in a short space of time. And I feel like I've got a long way to go. We've got this tournament to win still, and Shiv is probably still going to have to do all the heavy lifting. But I have to say, there is one thing that cannot be shortcut, and that is time and the volume that you need to put in every single day to make these things just second nature, to make it autonomous, to make it just reliable. And I honestly don't think I can do it to that extent, guys. So I think I will come up a notch or 2 skill-wise. But I know that if I played this game more than 2 or 3 hours a day, I'd be flinging my monitor out the window. Honestly, people say that I handle my losses quite well. I don't think I do. I think sometimes I do actually just lose it, especially on the inside. But the reason I am handling it well, if at all, is because I don't play the game as often as others do. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you played with a beast player before? Have you learned from them? Would you like to learn from a good player like Shiv, or someone else that you look up to? That's it. Don't say me, by the way, in the comments. I know that some of you are going to do that, especially that ragtag professional coach guy, who, by the way, I'm convinced is one of my mods. I'm going to find out who you are. Anyway, sorry that this wasn't a Ubisoft vid. I know that's what I promised today, but yeah, I lost my footage and I just couldn't be bothered. Take it easy. Catch you in the next one. Later. Are you actually serious right now? I've never seen anyone, the worst players in the world.